Okay, thank you for joining. We are at the Certora workshop day 3. Let's go quickly over the agenda. So today is a day that is focused on AAVE Token V3, a new contract written by BDG. This is part of the AAVE community. Our plan is that we will start writing verification for this token, and this is part of the AAVE grant, meaning that there is grant to be given to those that are writing rules. It can be up to 10K, depending on the amount of rules and the quality of the rules. So our plan for today, we will give an introduction to the AAVE token. God Elbaz will do that. Then we can together do an exercise where we plan properties based on what we have learned in the last 2 days, and we can discuss them. So you have here a very good opportunity to get good ideas for properties that will give good coverage to the code. Next, Michael Morami will go over our Certora setup that we have prepared for this contract. We can take a break. Next, for anyone that needs, we will do a recap from the last 2 days on the Certora approval. So if someone doesn't need this, can just go ahead and start writing rules. After lunch, we will have Sasha Alexander will present to us ghost variable. This is a very strong feature that we have that enable us to reason about abstract things that are not necessarily available in the contract. And we would like to continue writing more spec, and feel free to ask us to help us out. Also on the Discord channel, we can also online write spec together with you. And the last part that we want is to start checking our spec. So this is based on what Michael have taught us yesterday. How do we check the spec? And we will try to insert bugs so we can actually work here in teams, take one other's spec, insert bugs, and see if they are detected by the rules that we have written. Okay, so God, please take over and explain to us everything.
Good morning. My name is God Elbaz. I'm a security engineer at Certora. Okay, so today I will go over with you on the AAVE V3 token. If you have any questions, of course, feel free to stop me and ask everything. Okay, so let's have a bit background. Let's talk first about the microphone. Yes. Yes, the slides will be. Not yet, but they will be. Yes, of course. So first we'll speak about governance. Yes, inside. Okay, so what is governance? Governance, it's the system, you can see, by which an organization is controlled and operates in a mechanism which it and its people are held accountable. It's like ethics, risk management, compliance, and administration. All of that are part of the governance. So governance tends to fall into 2 different categories: direct and representative. Direct governance, meaning it's like democracy, meaning the user determine decision and action with no intermediates. Representative, meaning representative governance, meaning user use the representative and they can choose for them. Okay. If we speak for the blockchain, like in our context, governance is mostly how a blockchain ecosystem decides on which improvement to enact. Users of the blockchain ecosystem creates a proposal will then receive votes of the rest of the community based on the participation rules created by the blockchain developers. So once votes are in, the developers then can see if the proposal succeeded. Like if a proposal have a majority of votes, then you can proceed with the process and execute the proposal. So if we'll talk about something more relevant for today, it's the AAVE governance system. So the process of making changes in the AAVE government system, it consists with those three things. Okay, proposing decision-making process for different risk parameters changes. Let's say if I want to list a new token in AAVE. So I'll make a proposal with a lot of definitions of the new token, what I want to do, maybe how it will be executed, and everything with it. I can improvements and incentives that consist with the policy, upgrades to the government system itself. Let's say I can propose that the voting process, instead of 3 days, will take 1 week. Okay, so these are things that let's say that I can propose. Okay, so the AAVE token is the power of its address. What does it mean? Okay. Okay, so as we said till now, we have the governance system, so each one can propose and vote, and the power of the voting, like it comes from the amount of AAVE token that you have. So AAVE implements this, but one second. Okay, so how it looks like, the proposals. We can go to the AAVE site, and you see the list of proposals over there. You can vote for the proposal or against it. If you have like the majority for it, the proposal will execute. The proposal, it has even on its own code. Once it got the majority and the deadline has arrived, it will execute. If it doesn't have like the enough votes, it will fail and maybe go proposing with minor changes, big changes, whatever, and go for votes again. And this is how it looks like, yes, the API in our site. Any questions till now about the governance system? So this is a governance system. So let's talk about some definition, the vocabulary, so what we are going to talk about. When we are talking about account, we'll talk about an Ethereum address involved in a transaction of the system. When we speak about the balance, we'll talk about the amount of AAVE tokens belonging to an account, as if balance off. We have, when we speak about power, we have proposal power. It's the influence the account has regarding proposing, creating proposals, voting power. It measures the influence that one account can vote. And then delegation. Delegation meaning a power that an account can use, not generated from its own balance, AAVE balance. Okay, so now let's speak about the AAVE V3 fundamentals. Okay, so the AAVE V3, of course, it's a token, so it's a ERC20 token. So we've got its ERC20 fundamentals, and as well, it's as a governance token, it has more functionalities. So the fundamentals are the power is derived from the user own balance plus power that was delegated to him. Okay. So an account may delegate his own power or its proposal power to a third party. And if account delegates its power, it must delegate all of its power and not part of it. and if he delegates his power, he can't use his power. Okay? In case of an account transferring or receiving a token, AAVE tokens, the power that is account delegates to other accounts updates accordingly. Let's say Alice got 10 AAVE tokens. Her balance is 10 AAVE tokens. Bob got 10 AAVE tokens, so they both have the power equivalent to the balance of 10 AAVE tokens. If Alice wants to delegate her power to Bob, then Bob will have the power equivalent to 20 AAVE tokens, and Alice won't have any power because she's delegating it, and she can't use it. But Bob got 20 power. She can't delegate like 5 or part of it. Okay? Account can undelegate his power, and therefore the delegatee power will be updated accordingly. So Alice can delegate her power to Bob. If she decides afterwards she doesn't want it anymore, she just undelegated, and Bob's power will go back to have the power of 10 AAVE tokens, as we said before.
Gad, we have a question on the Discord
Yeah.
about the governance system. What if there is a proposal which got huge vote, but is very hard for developers to execute? What is done in this case?
Okay, so once you create a proposal, you have the code already implemented. So when you upload a proposal, when you propose, it has its code already implemented, and once the deadline is over and you have, let's say, enough votes, like you have majority, but you need to have like a meaningful majority, then the code just executes. It's already, okay. So let's continue. So about
just to clarify, so
Yes.
when someone proposes something, he already has to submit the code, and that is actually being reviewed as part of the
Yes, of
system?
course. Once, when you want to vote, you are reading the proposal and you need to know everything about it. You have, say, enough information about the proposal and the code itself. So you know everything, what is going to happen when you are voting. Yes, of course.
What about security on when you create a proposal, for example, and you implement all the changes you want to implement?
Yes.
What about security on those changes?
Okay, so that's what the votes are for. The community, everyone who holds the AAVE token, he can read it. He can check for security bugs by himself because he can see the code, and that's why the votes are for. So everyone can see what's about to happen, and they can vote on it. So everything, it's like it's transparent. Okay.
So you can say that the governance is actually responsible for the security of the system in
Yes,
some
the
sense.
government, let's say like democracy, the people is the governs. So it's, you can see whatever is going to happen and you can decide for it, all of the community.
Can the governments also be used to request a security audit?
Yes, of course, you can propose. If you have if you have proposal power, you can propose for a new security audit. And people, user will vote on it. And if
So actually, we are here as part of a AAVE proposal that was accepted,
yeah,
and we offered a proposal to do an ongoing verification, and so we have our team working closely with the AAVE, but we also have a grant to pay out to the community, and this is actually part of the proposal.
very good. So let's continue about the AAVE V3 token fundamentals. So we spoke about what the power is derived from. One can delegate its power or undelegate its power. And another important thing to know about delegating power is that it's not transitive. Meaning, let's say we have Alice, Bob, and Mike, 3 accounts. Alice delegates her power to Bob, and Bob may or may not use of power, but he wants to delegate power to Mike. So he can delegate only its own power, and he can't delegate Alice's power. So let's say, again, with an example, a simple one. Alice got a balance of 10 AAVE tokens. Bob got balance of 10 AAVE tokens. Mike doesn't have AAVE tokens at all. So Alice delegates her power to Bob. Bob will now have the power of equivalence to 20 AAVE tokens, and he wants to delegate power to Mike. When he delegates his power to Mike, Mike will have he can only delegate a power of its own balance, meaning the 10 AAVE token balance. So in the new situation, Alice won't have any power because she delegates her power. Bob will have power equivalent to 10 AAVE tokens that was delegated to him from Alice. And Mike will have the power of 10 AAVE token votes delegated for him for Mike. So you can't move forward power that was delegated to you. Yes. No.
How is the power delegation implemented? I mean, with another token?
No, with the AAVE token, the power is, we will see it very soon, yeah, but the power is derived from your balance if you have, for how many AAVE tokens you have. So that's what the power is derived from. And we'll see the code soon. You will see it on your practice session. It will be very clear. Yeah. Any more questions?
So are the proposal only for small changes in the code, like updating the parameter or changes in fee?
No, it's not only this. It can be this, yes, but as we said in the beginning, I can propose about changes in the code. I can propose like for auditing, like we are doing here today. I can propose of changing the proposing system. I can propose everything we want on the AAVE token. And if we have a majority of AAVE holders that wants this change, it will happen. Okay. Okay, so now after we know some fundamentals about how it works, we can dive in, see a bit implementation. So the AAVE token, as we said before, is an ERC token. So it must implement the ERC20 token interface. So it got, you've seen it during the workshop, the ERC20. So you have the function of total supply, meaning you can see how many AAVE tokens there are. You can see the balance of any user, how much AAVE tokens a user have, transferring AAVE token from one user to another, allowance seen, how many allowance a user have from another user, approving mean how many I can give allowance to another user, and transfer form that if I have allowance from other user, I can transfer tokens on behalf of his name. So this is the ERC20 token. Okay. So besides being an ERC20 token, the AAVE token, it's a governance power delegation token. This is its name, another kind. So it must implement its interface as well. So its interface is pretty simple. You can see, you can delegate, you have the function of delegating. So I can delegate my power to other user. So it gets the delegatee's address, the one who wants to delegate my power to. And the type, as we said before, we have a proposal power or voting power. So I can delegate one of the two. Or if I want to delegate two of them, so I have like a function, and what it does is just delegate by type with both types. Now, I can, we have another function, get delegatee by type. So I can, I give the delegator, and it will give me the address or which I've delegated the power to. Okay, not me, but the delegator. So it returns the address of each type. And you can get delegatees as well. It's like before, it calls the first function twice, each time with another voting power type. So it will return two addresses. It might be the same address, might not. Okay, get current power. So it will just give me the current power of a user by type, or again with the two types. It means it takes the AAVE balance of a user, does a bit computation, and give you its power. Okay, we'll see later on the session what is the computation in a bit more details. So that's about it. It's a very short, very simple token. Any question about it? Yes.
Get power, get current power, get power current returns the total power. I mean the balance and the delegated power.
Yes, exactly. Yes, that's a good question. So yes, we need to emphasize. So the power is your own balance, and the power that is derived from your own balance, and the power that was delegated to you.
Okay.
So the both of them. Okay. So as we saw, we talked about the AAVE governance system. We can propose proposals. We can vote about them. The power that you can vote comes from the amount of balance or AAVE token balance you have. If I have all the AAVE tokens, okay, so I'll decide everything for the AAVE governance system. That's how it works. If, let's say, me and Nurit, each of us have half, so we have like 50%. It's like, it's relative to your AAVE amount. And afterwards, we talk about the implementation, some fundamentals. You see it, and now let's be a bit more practical. Yeah. So what we need to do right now? You can take out your computers. First, we'll fork the Git repository. You got it on GitHub Certora, the AAVE V3. Okay. Don't worry, I will leave this on the board and you can see it. You can, okay. After you will fork it, clone it, of course, locally.
Wait.
Yes.
We suggest to fork so you can later on push your changes and make a pull request, and then we will be able to review your spec and you will get your grant. So, because you won't have Git authority to push to our branch. So please fork. Everyone know how to fork? Up.
Yeah. So after you will have the code in your Visual Studio, you can read the properties. Over there you can see like more detailed information about the implementation. Okay, and we'll think about properties. And we will discuss them together, but let's say security-wise, I have a question for you. Do you see any problem with the power being derived from the AAVE token amount of a user? Let's say if the AAVE token holders are the governance. So if I have a lot of AAVE token, I have more influence. So is there see any problem with it, with this mechanism? Yes.
I'm curious what I didn't look at the code yet, but I'm curious what happens when you transfer. I didn't look at the code yet, but I'm curious what happens when you transfer the tokens, or maybe the tokens are on DEX and.
Okay, so that's a good question. So when transferring a token, the AAVE token, the power it updates accordingly. let's say if one account delegates its power to another and have 100 AAVE token balance, and then it transfers from his balance like 50 tokens, then the delegatee's power, the one who was delegated his power, will have less power. It's updates. It just will update. If he will receive more power, if Alice, again with the example, it will be more simpler. If Alice delegates her 10 token power to Bob, and now she receives another 90 AAVE tokens, then Bob will have the power equivalent to 100 token. It's, the transfer updates it as well. Do you see any more problems with this? This was very good. Yes, over there.
What if you do a flash loan?
Oh, yeah, that's the point. She asked what happens if we do flash loan. Let's say there is I'm one proposing, I have a proposal and I really want it to happen. So maybe I can do a flash loan, have a huge amount of AAVE token, and then I will vote for my proposal, and probably it will execute. So in this case, AAVE uses snapshots. When you upload a proposal, it has a snapshot of each user's balance, and even if and your power is the power you had at this moment, or at the moment of the proposal. So it won't be affected by the flash loan. It won't be affected even if you will receive a lot of tokens, 10 tokens, whatever tokens. Yes, do it.
So there's like a timeout when you upload a proposal to start voting?
Of course, first of all, there is a timeout, there is a deadline on a proposal, but when you upload it, when you upload a proposal, you propose, you have a snapshot of the user's balance of the governance system of the balances of each user. So when you vote, the power you have is the power you have on voting is the same power you had on the moment that the proposal was uploaded. So this is the situation. So you can manipulate your voting power afterwards or on each proposal you see, like afterwards. When you want to vote, you can flash loan, but it won't affect your voting power because the voting power, it's the voting power you had on the moment of the proposal, that you uploaded the proposal.
And what about if you create the proposal in the same transaction as the flash loan?
That's a good question. I'm not sure how they implement it, but I guess you can't propose while having another transaction. No,
So the governance contract is still, there will be a new governance token related to this AAVE token. So AAVE token is the power to vote, the ERC20 to vote with. And there is a different contract that actually implements the governance and do all the voting, and that would be a very good thing to check. Okay.
very good. Yes, you want to ask the same one?
Regarding your question, I think in some cases they do like the snapshot is taken one block before the proposal is executed. So, but that's an interesting case if you flash loan and do it in
Yeah,
one
but-
transaction.
Yeah, but even then, you need a bit more complex or wise mechanism because you can flash loan one block before. Yes.
About the flash loans, I think you said that it uses snapshots, and the snapshot is checking the balance at the end of the block. But for the flash loan, you have to like return the loan at the before the end of the block.
Yeah. So it's probably. I'm not sure how they implement it. Yeah, but probably something around what you are saying. Yeah.
Yeah, so this is a very good point, and there have been serious hacks due to flash loans and voting. So it's an important thing to discuss and think about. Yeah, yeah. Question? So we have a question, basically asking us to show some specs that can be written here. Okay, so
This is the exercise.
it's, yeah, so no, but the branch, so yeah, we have the branch and we have now the properties MD file, which contains properties written in English, right? And
Yes,
yeah,
these properties are the AAVE properties about the AAVE tokens, as we spoke about the fundamentals before, in more detailed manner. Yes, they are not properties of Certora specs. This we are going to think about them together. First, I think we'll think about them separately. We have when you scan this QR code, we have a share document. You should upload your rules that you think about, the properties that you think that should be held on the AAVE token, and afterwards we'll discuss them together. And the rest of the day, after Sasha will give his ghost, very cool ghost lecture, we will implement them. Okay?
Yeah, so, okay, so the exercise now is just to think about the properties, write them down, share with us so we can go over together, and it will be a good start for you. And later we will go over the setup in the branch Certora community that already has a few rules in a spec file. And then you can actually start writing rules, and we will also learn the ghost feature.
Yes.
Okay.
Okay, thank you. Of course, if you have more questions, we are here if you have any problems.